Hi, I'm Lisa from Lori's Country Cottage. Welcome to How Tuesday. Today I'm going to talk about quilt labels. Quilt labels are important. It's a way to preserve the history of our quilt, to leave them for generations to come so that they know where they came from. It's also a great way to personalize gifts for people. Quilt labels don't have to be fancy, but sometimes when we're at the end of a project, we just don't feel like making a label. Well, today I'm going to show you how to use the Quiltsmart ZigZapp pre-printed labels to make fast and easy labels for your projects. We know that quilt labels are important, but sometimes we just don't have the time or the inclination to do them. So the ZigZapps quilt labels from Quiltsmart are fast and easy. Let me show you a quick way to do quilt labels. So first, the panel comes with 6 labels, which is really nice. They're about the same size, but a little bit different. And I'm going to show you, I quickly did machine embroidery, but not everybody has an embroidery machine to do a simple label. So I'm going to show you how I usually do handwritten labels. So I've got my Caterpillar Glow light out. You can use your nifty Notion light as well to help me with the label. So what I've done, maybe it's better without the light. What I've done is I've mapped out the size of the label that I'm going to use, and then I've drawn it on a piece of paper so I know what size I can fill, and then I've handwritten in pencil what I want on the label. And I did that because now I'll use my light box. I'm going to put my fabric on top, line it up, and now I can take my permanent pen and follow the printing that I put on the paper, and then I know it's straight. And I also know that I've spelled everything correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out my label, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to use the Quiltsmart ZigZapps for labels. So my label is ready, and I just wanted to make sure to point out that I've drawn lines so that I know that my lines are straight so that my label is straight. Now the Quiltsmart labels are fusible on one side and it'll be rough. Those are the little glue dots. So now you'll cut out the label you want to use and center it on your printing. And it's nice, this little line is nice and straight, so I can make sure it's lined up nice and straight with that label. And then same thing with my machine embroidery label. I'm going to place this on top and use the line to line it up straight and then just kind of center it there. And now I'm going to pin all the way around, and there are 2 lines on each label. There is a solid line, that's your stitching line, and then there's a dotted line, and after I stitch I'm going to clip around. Now I've laid the glue side down against the right side of my label. Seams backwards. I'm not going to press it, but I'm going to show you how slick this is after we stitch it. So I'm going to go to the machine. I'm going to pin all the way around. I'm going to go to my machine, and I'm going to carefully stitch with a shorter stitch length because I'm doing curves on the solid line. I'll do that for both of those labels, and then I'll come back and show you how we turn them into fusible quilt labels. Let's just talk a little bit about stitching. As I said, I shortened my stitch length to 2.0 because we're going around curves. So I went very, very slowly, and I found my Bianni stiletto really, really important to help feed that fabric around the curve. So those are a couple hints. Plus, I did use my extra fine silk pins and my long fine quilting pins for the pinning. I didn't want any puckers. There's lots of different pins out there, but when you're doing fine stuff like this, your silk pins or your fine quilting pins are the pins to use for that. So I've stitched on the solid line. I use my Karen K Buckley scissors. You can use your LDH craft scissors as well. and trimmed on the dotted line, which is a generous 1/8 inch away. And then there are little lines at any juncture of curves, and I've gone and I've snipped into the stitching. So don't cut your stitching, just snip in the seam allowance and trim that. So now our next step is to turn this right side out. So this line on the back is the cutting line that we're going to use to open the back. So make sure you separate your label away from that line and just cut it along that line as wide or as long as the line is. So I'll do it on the second one. And then that's our turning hole. So I'm going to turn the label right side out, carefully trying not to rip that interfacing, because when we fuse it down on the quilt later, it will lie nice and flat. And I'm not really sure which tool is going to work best for smoothing out those curves. I always start with my curved ball-ended stitchy stick, just because I find it works good for any application. And just gently push your corners out. And then one of the hints that I read when I was doing research on how to do this is that when you want to make this line flat now, so you can take something a bit sharper, I wouldn't use that pointy one, maybe the beveled edge one or your purple thing. So I'll use the purple thing, and to do a back and forward motion, but not between the interfacing and the fabric, but between the two seam allowances, which I thought was a great tip, because then you don't have to worry about ever ripping the Quiltsmart foundation. So my purple thing works great, and it's in between those two seam allowances, and then that'll just fine tune your label. And there's my label. Now, when I'm putting this on the quilt, so I would take this now, I would put it on my applique pressing sheet on my ironing surface and press this flat. But let's take a look at the second one and see how it turns and what it looks like. Now, because I did machine embroidery on here, I actually stabilized the fabric first, so it's got shape flex on the back. So it is more stiff than the other fabric, so it is a little bit tougher to turn, and it's ripped the Quiltsmart foundation just a bit, but that's not going to be a problem. So again, I'm going to take the ball end of my stitchy sticks and just start that turning process. Careful not to push too hard. You don't want to rip that foundation in the back. And then my purple thing worked really good, so I'm going to take that again, and again in the seam, in between those two pieces of fabric, just work your way around and make sure you've got all those curves. This label also has more curves, so make sure you have all those curves pushed out, and then your careful work of snipping in that seam allowance allowed for some nice curves to show. Awesome. So you can see how I ripped the back of that because it was stiffer, but it'll lay flat anyway. So I'm going to get my applique pressing sheet. I'm going to press these nice and flat, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like. So here are the two quilt labels, nice and pressed. You can see how they lay flat on the back. They actually didn't stick a whole lot to my applique pressing sheet, but this is a handy little feature because I can put it on the back of my quilt, give it a press, and it'll hold it down just well enough that I can go and I can do my hand stitching around my label. I think these are really cute. They went together really fast. It's like really fast. It's important that we label our projects, it personalizes them and preserves their history. Thanks for joining me for How Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed learning how Quiltsmart has made it easy for us to make labels for our projects. Make sure you subscribe below and ring the bell. That'll give you notifications whenever we post a new video. Thanks for joining me today.